This is the cow panel chicken coop that me and my daughter built for her chickens. I've stole the idea from several others that I saw online, and I will post links to some of those. This is kind of my version of it. And I'm going to make sure to get some close-ups of some of the things that I had questions about that I couldn't seem to get close-ups for. First off, we have a lot of fox, raccoons, possums in this area, so that's the reason for the cinder blocks around the outside. The chicken wire, which is wrapped 100% around the coop, or the pen, whatever you want to call it, goes underneath each one of the cinder blocks all the way around. That way we don't have to worry about anything digging up underneath there. It also goes completely around the top in the front and the back. We are going to be putting a bigger tarp on it to cover all the way up around the sides. Now the white things in the back there, those are auto feeders. That's where they get their feed, of course. I got that from another YouTube gardener who's got a great channel. I'll post that in the links below along with his name and everything. I'm really bad about names, so I apologize for that. And once again, that's a slightly modified version because of the small gaps in the cow panels. Rather than cut it, I just went up a little higher, so I had to put a greater slant on them to put them inside. Now that also will help keep it dry, because even though we are putting a full tarp over the top, it rains a lot here. I am on the eastern coast, so there's that. And I have bricks under each one of them so that they have a place to stand up and can kind of reach inside and get their food. And you'll see the chicken there is on it. And I apologize, I do not know the chickens' names. They're my daughter's chickens, and like I said, I'm bad about names. Now, we did have them in those coops that you see inside there. That was a kit she got last year, and they were connected to those runs, and we had it enclosed in a big chicken wire fence with some aviary netting on the top. I built that last year for Christmas for her. Me and my wife did, because she needed something to put the chickens in. And I've learned a lot in the last year, so we moved up to this cow panel version. Now you'll notice here, this is our auto waterer, and that's a collection of a lot of different YouTube ideas I got, so I don't really have a link for that. That's just a piece of PVC pipe with some water nipples, and I'll put a link to that on Amazon. My daughter doesn't like me to call them that, but that's what they are. Water cups, water nipples, whatever. And then I have a little tube running underneath the bucket there and going in. I know it's clear. I know that's going to cause algae. I haven't had a chance to get a dark one yet, but we moved that from the old coop, and it seems to work pretty good. It did freeze up. It froze here about a week ago. It did freeze up on us. But the cool thing is the way these nipples are made, it looks like they're just O-ring pressure fitted. So if it freezes, they just pop out. And because all the water drained out when it defrosted, because we couldn't get out here to check it because it rained a whole bunch. And when we got out here, it was empty. But I adjusted some things, put it back together, filled it back up, and it is full now. So there's some bricks we just left in there that we had their feet on originally. See the dog bowl? I had to use that while the water was frozen. I just took some gallon water jugs and poured it in there and just left it in there. So as you'll see, the chickens are having a good time. For anyone interested in sizes, this is it's 4 cow panels long, and you can pick those up at Harbor Freight. They're about $25 a piece, and they measure 16 feet by 50 inches. So if you make it 16 feet, you're going to have to cut it off. If your boards are 16 feet now. I have mine exactly 16 feet, so I had to cut some off. Well, you know, so it is what it is. Thinking back, I put the cut edge to the outside here. I should have probably put it on this side. It would have probably looked a little nicer. But I mean, it looks okay, I think. So it's all good. Now the door, and I'll put a link to this. I got a tip out of this. I'll open that up and show you. I forget right off my hand what that's called, but that's a kind of a joint. I'll link a video to that. I stole that from a gate, from a garden gate video. And of course I've got a little spring here to keep it closed so the chickens don't run away. Now for the crossbars, I use these little metal, I don't really know what they're called, but you can get them at Lowe's or Home Depot. I'll link to those also. And I wanted to give a little more support to the cross members for the support there. And then we also have them in the back here. And I've got 2 across there. And then we've got the support there. Now you notice I've got it 12 inches off the ground. I did that for a couple of reasons. One, actually I think this might be 10 inches. I'll put it in the notes, exact height. But I did that so that one, the bricks would cover the whole top and to give me some good support. And you'll notice people build these, they don't talk about bracing, but I put some little, I think 1x2s or 1x1s every so many feet, and then I rested the cow panels on that when they rolled it around. And then I used fence staples to attach it there. Now for attaching the panels together, I used, let me see if I can get it. I wrapped a bunch of electric fence wire. I think it's like 18 gauge or something, 22 gauge, that I bought. I got a big old spool of it last year for when I did the other coop, and I had it. And you know, don't buy anything new if you don't have to. And I used that to wrap all of the things together, and it is extremely sturdy. This thing isn't going anywhere. And then I also, because of all the little critters we have here, I used it, I don't know if you can see this, but I used it to knit the sections of the chicken wire together all the way down. And then down here at the bottom, I just wrapped it around a bunch of times and tied it off. So there you go. And then at the top of the door, we've got a little stop there so the door doesn't swing in on itself and kind of supports it. Now you notice I added a little more support to the door, and I did that just to add a little more support to it. And there's that. So I'm going to need to pause for a second, and I'll be back shortly. Alrighty, I am back. And I said earlier that these cow panels were available at Harbor Freight. Please don't go to Harbor Freight looking for cow panels. They don't have them. It's Tractor Supplies where you can get them. Now to kind of continue here, I was talking about knitting. I also knitted all the edges with the electric fence, and that goes all the way over from top to bottom on each side. So it starts down there and goes all the way around, and I looped it around several times. Now you'll notice at the end of each support also we've got a fence staple. Those are, I believe, 1 1/4 galvanized. Now the wood on the bottom is ground contact. Got that because I wanted it to last. And everything I read from the manufacturer and also from several other places on the web said it would be fine with chickens. They're not going to, they shouldn't chew on it. Shouldn't be a big deal. Now the wood on the uprights was some old stuff I had laying around, except for the gate, and that is or the door, depending on how you want to call it. That is treated lumber, but it's not wood. It's not ground contact. So there you go. If you don't use ground contact rated treated lumber, it will rot on you, and you will be replacing it sooner than later. So that's it. I'm going to make one more round here, see if there's anything I have forgotten. Now you'll notice right here, I had to excuse the noise. They're clearing for my house, and I had to knit a piece in because I was using leftover chicken wire from my garden that I was relocating as well. So didn't quite have enough there, and I knitted a piece in there, and it worked out great. saving some money. So that's it. And I'm just going to sit here, back up for a second, and do a little pan and see if there's anything else I can remember. Now you'll notice underneath the door, you can see it from here, there's an extra piece of wood, and I did that also for some support. So that because the door is actually framed on the inside of the bottom rather than on top of it. So that's just the way I did it. And also for the door, on the front of it is a remnant of the cow panel, and on the back of it is chicken wire. I did it that way so the poor little chickens wouldn't get their heads caught between this and the chicken wire, so it's on the inside. And I think that is about it. Please, if you've got any questions, please leave them below. I'll keep an eye on the comments. And I'm going to try to put these two videos together. If I'm not able to, this will be a part 2 of the part 1, and I'll try to put everything in the comments, I mean in the details below about where to get this stuff and all that good fun stuff. And I'll show the measurement for the base, which I'm thinking is probably 10 inches now, but I don't know. I'm gonna have to measure it. Well, anyway, have a good day, and hopefully I'll have more videos to come. I am not a video editor. I am a programmer, so I apologize for the quality of the videos. I'm going to focus on quality of content, so hopefully you'll get something out of them. Have a great day.